Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. Something has been on my mind lately. Prize pools. Specifically because of how much money Punk made last EVO, last weekend. This is directly from Punk from yesterday, considering how much he made during the getting first place at EVO. 12k. He made more money getting second at EVO with less entrants. This was caught up by a lot of players because the amount of the importance of Evo, it was a huge thing, probably the biggest tournament, the Olympics of fighting games, very likely. Thus, one might expect the prize pool to be higher. And also you have to consider how expensive it is to attend Evo. Other players started commenting, like MenRD, how they made not much sense for Evo. Every single tournament, by the way, was 30k flat without considering anything else. And that is something that is significant. We are just talking about no registration, nothing, no sponsors, as MenRD said it. Punk walk away with 12k. This is good because the whole situation was caught up by the Hadu, basically the Evo man, person behind or the face of Evo. And he said there was a problem with the price payment processed. Okay, would only be the representative of the minimum that as I said, 30k for each tournament. That was the minimum that was divided between the top 8, and you have to add the entry. Like, I'm very happy the Hadu responded so fast because now you check, Punk indeed won more than 12k. It is now closer or a little bit over 21k. It still is a little debatable if that is enough, considering Evo in the past has paid more to players. Although this is close to last year Evo, where Angry Bird took the first Street Fighter 6 tournament. If you really want to be that person, you can check the rest of the prices, and you'll see there's some differences. Depending on how you look at it, 20k is either a good amount or there's something that can be done. In order for the price pools to be increased, the most logical solution would be for developers to back up the games. This is something that has happened to Evo. The first year of fighting games is the most important year. The game is gonna sell, and then you have to push it with DLC, etc., etc. That's why in some instances you only get 5k or 5,560. The last year of Street Fighter 5, EVO 2022, yes sir. When developers back the game, you can see, like in the case of 2019, when Bonchan won it, he took 31k because Capcom added 50k to the prize pool. You see all of these sponsors. Now, even 2021, sorry, was acquired by RTS and PlayStation. That is the reason why you see so many people playing rock, paper, scissors. There are so many PlayStation things, because PlayStation is 50% of Evo. And RTS, if you're wondering, is the company co-owned by Pokimane. Have to consider in the year 2023, more people signed up for Street Fighter 6 rather than this year. If you go for and you start looking for the other ones like CEO, you get even less money. Now the argument about Evo is the amount of requirements Evo needs in order to function. The people, the place, all of that money that has to go into those things. That might be the reason why the prices are like this. Because certainly money is not infinite, unless you're Saudi Arabia. The prices over here are crazy. This was Gamers 8, the tournament that happened in 2023, and Kakeru won 400k. You have to consider taxes, but let's just consider the number, the flat number. 400k, 400,000. That is more than many EVOs, like 10 EVOs combined. It is crazy. And this brings the tournaments closer to other games, because even though we're esports, quote unquote, I feel we're in the back of the esports. We're like the S of esports. We're on the other side of the spectrum of esports. Generally, a tournament for League of Legends, for example, pays around 144,000 to a whole team. You have all of these sponsors, and you also have MVPs and other prizes. Some tournaments pay more than fighting games. That's why we feel so poverty sometimes. Like a regular fighting game tournament compared to League of Legends is a huge difference. But the gaps are getting closer and closer thanks to outside investment. The winners T1 got $400,000, and Faker, just by being Faker, got 50k. Basically the money of 2 Evos, just because he was really good. And this will happen again for fighting games, because eSports World Cup will happen at more or less at the beginning, the second week of August, and the money is huge. if you get to 12th place at EWC, you get the same amount of money than winning EVO. For me, EVO has always been the Olympics of fighting games, but that is likely to change now that the actual Olympics are accepting video games as part of them. Not every single video game, by the way. If you have guns, explosions, probably you're not gonna be there. So these are the games that are gonna be part of the Olympic esports games. So now we're in. We're part of the Olympics now. You might be wondering, okay, where is this new event gonna be held? Well, Saudi Arabia, of course. Saudi Arabia is gonna be behind the first Olympic esports games in 2025. This is something that I feel was more important for fighting games because again, we're always like the small guy compared to the other games, the other competitive games. This begs the question of what's going to happen in the future. We also have to take into account the other side. Like, what if they don't pay? What if that money is just for headlines? And that is something that happens in 2020 to Pudans. When he won a tournament in Saudi Arabia, 60K, never received them. To my knowledge, he never received the money, nor any of the players who went to play Tekken 7 back then. And you start to get the reasoning why, in the case of Capcom, they push so far the $1 million. I'm not the biggest fan of this split, like from 100K to $1 million between the first and the second place, but you start to understand why it is so important for them to push the narrative, to feel like they're making a millionaire just by playing fighting games. If you want to get a more intelligent, a more descriptive way of this situation, you can watch a video from Brian F. from last year, where he explained at that time the situation between Kawano, how little he won for EVO compared to other tournaments, and also the possibility of adding Macherino at that time. It's a very good video. I'm gonna leave the link below. So we go back to this. I'm very happy the situation got resolved. Punk got the money he was deserving because he won a tournament again with around 5K, 5,000 players. Not an easy thing to do. But my question is, how can we increase that money? You train for months sometimes, years even, to get to a point where you can maybe possibly win 20K. That is definitely not enough. And being consistent in fighting games is very difficult. That's why some players go to other venues in order to get continuous income. Streaming, having a real job. The thing I would like the most would be for players to actually live off of fighting games. Hopefully with the Olympics adding fighting games, the Saudi Arabia adding also fighting games and being very interested in esports, that could mean more eyes, more interest could come to fighting games and more sponsors could back up tournaments like EVO. And EVO by itself is doing also great. They're expanding all the tournaments. They're going to Europe, Singapore also in the future. There's some really good things happening. Could they add Macherino? I don't know. There's a lot of things, a lot of people behind EVO now. Two big companies who have to get together and create an event. So it's not as easy as just adding more things. But I do feel if you're the biggest tournament for fighting games, we have to consider the Olympics and eSports World Cup and all things, but the EVO is the biggest thing. For everyone, EVO is the thing. If that tournament pays 20K, something needs to be done. I feel every single tournament, no matter how small, should pay their entrance, should pay their players. If you invite someone to fight in your stream, this is something that is very common in Latin America. I think that needs to change. It doesn't have to be money. If your tournament is small, it doesn't have to be money. Maybe free drinks, I don't know, whatever. I feel if a player is spending their time to do something for you, they should be rewarded somehow. The bigger the tournament and the more prestige the tournament has, it should have a corresponding amount of money for the players participating. Smaller tournaments handle their money better with better sponsors because Topanga paid around 15K, I believe. That's a huge amount of money for a closed tournament. We can only wonder if there's really a proper way of doing this. And I don't have the answer. That's the thing, I don't have the answer. I've been playing and participating in fighting games for years, and prize pools have historically been very low. I don't know if there's something that can be done unless we bring more people into the FGC. For that, we need to understand we have to get into the esports fully at some point. Although you can argue we're already there. Thank you for listening for so long. I really appreciate all the love I receive over here. If you really like this video, please subscribe. Keep playing Grapplers. Have a nice day. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.